we have new callings, which are essentially classes, correct? If you're used to D&D, you think of classes, but in this game, it's callings. What are those callings?
Well,
you introduce Francesco?
Just introduction, and then you go into the technical details, because the reason why they were in the original game is to provide a reason for adventuring, for the character to go on an adventure. Why you're doing it? Why are you invested in something? So that's the what sets you out the door. And we tried to capture all the different facets of adventuring in the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit. And so we're thinking of what was that motivated Thorin Oakenshield to go on an adventure. It was probably treasure. Or what it is for Aragorn, it's probably protecting others. What it is for Boromir is to be a champion, and so on. So we think we found probably we were able to distill the basic elements. That there may be more, but we found it hard to actually find a better division. And so, Michele, if you want to go into specifics.
Yeah. The interesting thing is that why they are treated as classes, there's a subtle difference, because a class in Dungeons and Dragons is basically your profession. It's your expertise in the field of combat or magic. In Lord of the Rings, Lord of the Rings Roleplaying, sorry, it's your calling. It's why you're out there doing the stuff that you're doing. Doing adventures. So it does not only give you proficiencies and so on. It also gives you a very particular thing that is imported actually from the One Ring, which is your shadow path. Your shadow path is basically defines what can go wrong if your calling is that. So how can shadow corrupt you if you're a champion, or if you're a messenger or a captain? Your doubt, your fears, anything that is really strictly correlated with your calling. So there's this additional twist. It's not just your profession. It's why you deep inside you go adventuring.
Yeah, so, because we try to add this psychological twist, because if something is your passion, it may become your obsession. And the same goes for your vocation. If you do something for, let's say you're a warden, so you want to protect people, you may feel the necessity of enforcing your will over that of others, because you feel it's for their own safety, for their own good. But that's what Tolkien considers probably the biggest problem with trying to be good. He says that why the ring would be terrible in the hands of Gandalf, because Gandalf would end up doing badly with the intention of doing good. And for Tolkien, that's even worse than just do evil for the sake of evil, because it's even presumptuous. I mean, I'm doing it for your own good, and you're actually not doing that. You're doing what you want. And so the shadow paths are the perversion of your intention to do good in your calling. So we have 6 callings in the game, and they are captain. It's when you're a leader of men, so you try to lead by example, and it's when there's a moment of crisis, somebody has to stand up and show the path to others. We have champion, that is someone who instead uses its own strength to do something, even by its own. Messenger, I don't remember. It's somebody who believes that bringing people together is going to be the best way to fight the enemy, the shadow. And the scholar is the one who believes that it's always important to know more about things, so discover hidden secrets and to fill those white sections of a map where you don't know what it's beyond your borders. Treasure hunter is not simply somebody who wants money, but it's somebody who wants to recover lost things. Middle Earth is very much a world where there's 2 ages of the world that have passed, and so there's lost fortresses and palaces and entire cities that have been swallowed by the sea and so on. So there's a lot of stuff to recover. And then Warden is the one who feels that there's the necessity for someone to stand and defend others who cannot defend themselves. So these are the 6 callings in the game.
And very established from the books also. Like, it just feels like
Yes.
all of those callings, you know which character would have been that. So it's a nice feeling.
That's a nice game to be played. Yes, you can definitely recommend.
Associate the different characters to the
Also
callings.
because we used we named the features of the callings as things that the protagonists of the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit do or say, so you can actually recognize that kind of stuff. And and of course there are classes. They are they have the same. They have some twist and.
But the mechanical workings of those are like classes.
Yeah, they are arrayed like classes, no more no less. Veterans from Dungeons and Dragons will of course recognize similarities, for example, between the champion and the fighter, because you cannot go much farther from the base, the baseline. We did try actually to add some twists, the crafts that I mentioned early. Or some very original classes like the messenger calling.
But one of the strengths of Dungeons and Dragons is to have established these fantastic archetypes for adventuring. It's difficult to go very much beyond that, because of course a fighter is a fighter and a rogue and so on. So I don't know if it was. I think it was a brilliant creation to identify those archetypes, and maybe after so many years, some of them are so ingrained in the mentality of whoever plays any type of role-playing game, either on a computer or tabletop. They're so fantastic